Well, another episode of Jay Leno's Garage. Today we're going to talk about movie cars. The latest movie, Fast 5. If you like those Fast and Furious movies, I think this Fast 5 one is probably the best one of the group. Got some great cars in it, and the cars are built by our friend Dennis McCarthy. Now, Dennis was here once before. He built the Green Hornet car. And his shop is right around the corner from mine, and he drove a few over today. This is one of the Corvettes featured in it, and of course, that's the Dodge Charger. Dennis, come on in. As you can see, we're not real concerned about wardrobe on this.
No, not really.
People always say, Jay, why do you wear the same thing every day? Well, you're not supposed to focus on this. Focus on the cars. And you can see, he's got a little more color in it than I do, but that's about it. But tell us about this one here. What was the idea behind this?
It's really just a replica of a Grand Sport. It's it's a one-off frame. It uses late '80s Corvette suspension. The body was built by Mongoose.
Okay.
This was actually our one hero car that we actually purchased in one piece. Mongoose supplied this car with us, and then they gave us another 9 bodies and 9 chassis, which then we built from there. So
that's right. I remember. It's more or less you could fit this body on an existing Corvette chassis, huh?
Yeah, I think you could. It looks like it's pretty much an exact replica.
Well, it looks pretty good in the movie. Here's a quick scene of it in the movie. Take a look. So movie cars are never really quite as fast as they are in the movies, are they? Because you got so much to do. This one actually has a stick shift, a 4-speed. Most of them are automatics, huh? Because of the shooting and everything.
Some guys have their hands full as it is. So this one probably is the one, except for that, because this one actually is fast. This one has over 500 horsepower, the 4-speed, like you mentioned. But the cars that we built, yet still fast, not as fast, were a 400 horsepower GM crate motor.
Right.
Turbo 400, and basically everything else remained the same. But just very stripped, very basic. And then there was 2 that were built that were on VW chassis. I don't know, when you saw the film, when the cars are next to the train through that rough terrain, these weren't liking it real much. So we actually built like an off-road car with the effects guys, and like I say, the screen presence of the car looked just like these. Yeah. Well, I think it's a great-looking body, and it looks great in the film. This, of course, the iconic Dodge Charger. What's it, 69? Well, they all vary from 68 to 70. We basically create our own front clips out of fiberglass, and then we change the rear taillight panel on the 68s to match the 69 and 70. And pretty much got everything else from there, and they always end up with Chevy power and
you'd like to think it had a Hemi, but there's no Hemi in there, is there?
No, there sure isn't.
And this blower doesn't work either, does it?
Yeah, you'd have to spin it real fast.
Yeah, you have to spin that pretty quick to get any power out of it.
Every show, my goal is to build one true Hemi supercharged car, and we always start it, and it's always in the film, but we've just never had the time to actually complete that car.
Right. Very nice, very nice. And how many of these would you build?
On this one, we ended up only needing 2. Now, in the past movie, we built somewhere in the neighborhood of 9 or 10 of these.
Wow, okay. Was this the same car that was in the other movies as well?
This particular car is from Fast and Furious 4.
Right.
All the cars from Fast and Furious 1 are long gone, with the exception of the one that's at the Universal Studios tour.
Let's take a look at the fake motor. Pull the pins. As you can see, that's just a shell bolted on there, huh?
Yeah, it is fairly painful to take a brand new BDS blower and cut the guts out of it,
Really?
Yep.
Yep. This is kind of like walking around with a big rolled up sock in your pants. It doesn't really, you pull into Bob's Big Boy and you go, people go, whoa, look at that. And then you go, hey, look at that blower, huh? Woohoo. Got the big Willwood brakes on it, the whole deal.
For what they are, they run great. They have more than enough power for...
And what would this normally been? Just a 6-cylinder? No, they built a 6-cylinder, but a 318 or something like that?
Yeah, typical car. I mean, we usually buy them gutted, rust buckets. I mean, that's the one thing that I get so much hate mail on is it really accuses me of ruining Chargers, but we really don't ruin nice Chargers. We buy things that nobody would consider restoring. We have to put quarter panels on them. We put door skins on them. Year one helps us out with that stuff tremendously.
Very cool.
But
And you don't have to worry about scratching the paint.
You sure don't.
Oh, look at that.
Good thing about movie
It
cars.
fits right on there.
Yep.
There you are.
They've been jumped,
And of course the
crashed.
interior is just gutted as well. Rudimentary dashboard. The door actually opens in this one, not a lot of soundproofing. It seemed like it'd be a fun job, you know, building cars for the movies. Because you get to be around the whole show business thing, and of course you get to work on cars as well.
Unlike some films, you have a stunt car and the hero car.
Right.
With the Chargers, they're just all the same.
Yeah.
They're
yeah,
just they're
same thing.
represented for what they are.
Now this hood, is this hood part of the Mongoose package? You guys make this up special for the movies?
No, it's part of their package. It's a replica of the Grand Sport hood.
Oh, boy, I don't remember seeing this particular hood.
Like I say, it fools a lot of people because it really does look
Yeah.
correct. I mean, obviously we went with a 17-inch wheel instead of the 15-inch wheel.
And of course, the Grand Sport Corvette was built to compete against the Cobras. I remember it had the 36-gallon gas tank, which would cost you about $150 to fill it up, something like that now.
Yeah.
God, used to be able to fill it up for $25. And with 500 horsepower, she must go pretty good.
That it does.
And this was a street car, huh?
Yes,
Well, you could drive it right now, huh?
I did.
Yeah. We're going to go over Dennis's shop. He's going to show you around and show you how they build these cars, and it's pretty cool. He's just a couple of doors down from me. That's the cool thing about Burbank. All the stuff happens right around this area, so it's fun to have the show business thing and a shop too. And he actually makes a living building movie cars. What other movie cars have you built?
Well,
Yeah,
like you
Green
mentioned,
Hornet.
the Green Hornet, Death Race.
Nowadays, so much is CGI, so it's fun to actually see real cars do real stuff, you know.
That's what I love about these movies too, is
Yeah.
everything you see that the car is doing, it actually really did it. Because obviously CG's not good for my business.
Right.
You know, the more
Well,
cars
like
we
the
can rent,
Bourne
better.
movies too, those are so realistic because
Yeah.
the Mini Cooper is actually coming down the stairs. It's
Exactly.
actually sliding around the corners, you know. And I mean, I hate these movies where cars go, whoa, you know, over a bridge, you know, and they get to 500 feet and they land on the,
Yeah,
you know, they got
really
road
bad.
suspension and, oh, they're fine. Whew, that was close, you know. So that's kind of silly. So there's some great action shots in this movie. And of course, these are the actual cars here. Let's take a look at Dennis's shop.
So this is my shop where we build these cars. Behind us here is the Corvette that I just had a good time driving and decided I better park it before I get arrested in it. We have our Charger, we have the Challenger behind there that Vin Diesel drove, and then off in the distance you can see two cars owned by Neil Moritz, his 69 Camaro from Too Fast, Too Furious, and the red Chevelle from the fourth installment of Fast and Furious. This here is probably my favorite vehicle from Fast 5. This is something that we built in our shop basically from nothing. We ordered a truckload of steel, purchased the motor, and just started putting everything together. It kind of designed itself. It had to be a specific height, specific length, in order to carry the cars and line up with the train. It had to be fast to keep up with the train. It had to be able to go over all sorts of terrain. When you see Fast 5, you'll see this thing in action, but I mean, it was really an incredible working piece of machinery. Speeds in the neighborhood of 80 to 90 miles an hour on the high end, and the ability to jump. Corey Eubanks jumped this truck over 75 feet with probably 25 feet of elevation, and it landed and drove away. So it definitely did the real deal. It was definitely a functional picture car, and that's what I like about it. Early on, we had some problems with these things nosing over when we were jumping them. So this one here, you can see the motor in the front, which appears to be a 502 Chevrolet motor. We actually relocated the motor down underneath it in the middle to get the weight distribution better balanced, and that's a plastic motor. Hydraulic steering, Dana 60 front axle. This one, once again, is our specific jump truck, so it's a simulated Dana 60. It's actually 5/16 wall chrome alloy tube with a Dana 60 cover. The rear is a Dana 70. This one has 738 gears, Detroit locker. On the pavement, it'll burn rubber for 100 feet. I mean, it's just a fun thing to drive and a little peculiar, but nonetheless a good time.
Well, Dennis has slipped off to the men's room. I'm going to take this thing out, see if it'll do a burnout. Sounds good. the floor. I love movie cars. We'll see you next week.